Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Season 2, Episode number 16 of the Traditional Legends Show. I'm Brandy, and I am with John at Boxwood House in rainy Romney, West Virginia.
Is it raining?
I looked at the map, and there was a giant cloud.
Yeah, I saw that.
Listen, I will take rain.
Yeah, oh yeah, especially in February.
Yeah, I'll take rain.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a problem.
So with today's episode, we're going to be taking our little road trip down to Georgia.
Take the midnight train?
Yep.
Georgia on your mind?
Yeah, definitely.
If you have no idea what I'm referencing, pause this podcast right now and look it up.
Look it up. So
you're missing out.
First and foremost, we gotta identify the elephant in the room. Savannah,
yeah. Doing the Georgia road trip research. Look, if we did just Hauntings or just this or just that, it would all take place in Savannah. So, Savannah.
This town.
Yeah, most haunted.
Has seen some.
Some stuff.
It's seen some stuff.
It was established in 1733.
Yeah.
So it's ancient.
It's like the redheaded stepchild of the United States. Everything has happened in it.
Yeah. Well, okay. Stop and think about this. 1733. It was a port city.
Yep.
And listen, we can't ignore the fact that the Atlantic slave.
Well, yeah, but we got several conflicts that happened in the city. Okay, as far back as the siege of Savannah in 1779.
Yep.
This is Revolutionary War time period. Several hundred were wounded or killed.
Right.
Then you have Civil War.
Correct. Correct.
You have the town or the city getting, ransacked by General Sherman.
Well, speaking of which, from what I've read, much of the present day city of Savannah is actually built on top of old graves.
Yeah.
They moved the headstones, but not the bodies.
It makes sense because, on top of that, the disease outbreaks.
Correct. There was a fever epidemic.
There were like 9 of them. There were like 9 of them.
Yeah.
It's like okay, you got war, you got famine. Now let's talk about another thing. The city burned down twice.
Correct.
One in 1820. Oh, I'm sorry, the one in 1796 and another one in 1820.
Well, the 1820, that would coincide with the fever epidemic, and perhaps that's why it burned. And it doesn't end there, folks. But wait, there's more. Then you add in the population, and you have pirates, you have people that are practicing voodoo.
Exactly.
So
on top of that. Ready? Hurricanes. Natural disasters. It's like, okay. Wow.
You want your spooky fix? Go to Savannah.
So Savannah is like the melting pot for everything
of spectacular spookiness
that has occurred. But, we've been there twice.
Yeah.
And,
together we've been there twice.
Yeah, you've been there probably.
I'm from Florida.
Yeah. But when I've been there, it is
absolutely,
amazing.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful city.
There's actually this cemetery. It's Bonaventure Cemetery.
Yep.
And it's not the oldest cemetery in Savannah, but it has several restless spirits, okay? One of the saddest ones is a 6-year-old little girl named Gracie Watson.
Okay.
She was laid to rest there in 1889. Okay, she had died of pneumonia right before Easter Sunday. And there's a huge statue of her that was built for it. And people have reported seeing the statue walking around the cemetery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, I went, oh my gosh, ages and ages ago, back before digital. You know, you actually had to take the picture.
Film pictures? What?
What? Go and get the film developed. So I do recall, and I believe this was the cemetery we were in.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the cemetery walking through with my mama, and I took 2 photographs of her consecutively because, again, you can't see what you're taking the photo of.
Yeah, definitely.
So I took 2 in a row just to see, oh, wait, maybe the first one wasn't good. One of them, there is a giant light crescent.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
the light
over
rod.
her. Yeah. I mean, it's huge. It's this huge crescent over her, and the other one, there's absolutely nothing.
That's awesome because that has that's that
Exactly.
comparison photography there.
And it was back to back, and I want to say, oh my goodness, this was probably somewhere in the early to mid 90s.
Boy,
that we went there.
Boy,
taking it to the way.
Yeah, that's when you had to select the speed of film based on 200, 400, 600, and 800. And it was like, ooh, 800 speed film. Great for night photography. Yeah.
I want to say I probably had like a 200 speed film, because
that was a normal.
Vacay.
Yeah, it was a norm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, daytime photography, everything like that.
And I'm trying to think when we went, because I know it was cold. So there's no way it could have been around Easter. It must have been closer to Christmas time that we went.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I believe that was the same cemetery. And that's what I started thinking of. I'm like, oh, wow, maybe that's why.
So did you hear about the French ship, the Gretely?
No.
Yeah, so this was a vessel that arrived in Savannah in 1854.
Mm-hmm.
Picked up 71 escaped slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Went out and kaplunked in Savannah Harbor.
Oof.
So to this day, they still hear French conversations as well as screams coming from the harbor. Oh my goodness!
Well, if you hear them, just say bonjour.
Yeah, that's wild. I read about that.
Crazy.
That's really wild. And then you have the Moon River Brewing Company that the boys did from.
That's one of the most haunted places
from Ghost Brothers.
Haunted places.
Yeah, Ghost Brothers did that, didn't they?
I think a lot of people did, but I think I love those guys.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
They crack me up. If y'all ever want to investigate together.
Yep.
It's not everybody in the field that I would want to investigate with.
Yeah,
but I would
they're
want to
cool.
investigate
They're
with
down to earth. Great guys.
Yeah. Have you heard of the Kehoe House?
No, I haven't.
So again, 1892.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very sad. It was built for William Kehoe and his wife and their 10 children. 10.
What is it with them people back then? Oh my God.
There was no
birth
control.
Rabbits.
There was no birth control.
Yeah, no birth control.
No
as well
birth control.
As they really didn't have anything to do. So it's like, let's go upstairs.
And honestly, you needed a larger family to go work in the fields, things like that.
True.
It's true. I mean, I grew up.
Start stacking in bodies.
Right. I grew up from farming families, and that's what they did. But anywho, the Kehoe twins, they were playing near the fireplace, and the chair. Now there's like these little sculptures of cherubs and things, and it's a monument to the young twins because they were killed playing by the fireplace. Now, guests, it's apparently a B&B or a hotel or what have you. Guests report hearing children laughing. And if you stay in rooms 102 or 103, they report that someone sits on the beds and they leave warm indentations. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, listen, don't be messing with me while I'm sleeping. That's all I'm saying. Don't mess with me.
Well, good stuff. Savannah's insane. It's an insane location.
Yeah.
It's very, very New Orleans-ish.
Okay, yeah, without
Got that French flair to it.
it's slightly, yeah,
slightly
yeah,
French
yeah.
flair.
Well, again, a port city.
Yep.
What do you expect?
But
And-
a really cool, really down to
Right.
earth and
I do love
historical
Savannah.
city.
Worth a visit.
Yeah,
a
definitely worth the
visit.
trip.
Of
So
course.
then we go outside the city a little bit.
south. We've been there.
Yeah, we've been there. This place is amazing. Amazing. Jekyll Island.
Yes,
Jekyll
absolutely
Island.
gorgeous.
And this place is like off the beaten path a little bit.
It's between Savannah and you know what? I'll just say it, the Florida Georgia line,
Yep. Florida, Georgia, yep.
not the group. Just saying. But yeah, it's right there in between. It's this little island, absolutely beautiful. But of course, it's haunted.
And let me tell you what, reading these stories coming out of here, it's like, Jesus, the luck of these people in this island.
Well, okay. If I were to pass and go on to the afterlife, I might want to stay there. I'm just saying because it's gorgeous.
Well, not just that, but okay. So, in 1917, okay, Edwin Gould Jr.
Okay.
Okay, him and his father were out and about. They were hunting, and it's actually Edwin Gould is a railroad, tycoon,
Oh, that's interesting. I have a story about another railroad.
Oh, okay.
Tycoon.
So Edwin Gould Jr. was out hunting with a friend, and they were over by where the Jekyll toll booth is right now today.
Okay, gotcha.
And he found a raccoon in his trap that he collected. Okay, so they were trapping and found a raccoon. He didn't want to ruin the coonskin by shooting it with the shotgun.
All right.
It's a gimme. So what he did was he turned around a shotgun and tried to slam it with the butt of the shotgun, and he was able to kill the raccoon, but in the essence, shoot himself in the stomach. Yeah.
Don't mess with Mother Nature.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wow.
So he died of his wounds in the hotel, I believe.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is so crazy.
So that right there, and then there was another one, but I'll let you get to the one. That
Well, Samuel Spencer. He was the president of the Southern Railroad Company.
Okay.
When he stayed there, he insisted the Wall Street Journal would be delivered to his room. And so for years, staying there, it was his ritual. He would drink a cup of coffee while he scanned his newspaper. 1906, he was instantly killed in a train accident. Guess where he returned to? To this day, guests report that their coffee's been sipped and their morning paper has been read because it's open. He's still
stealing coffee.
Right.
Yeah,
He's
buddy.
still sipping coffee. So like coffee cups have been mysteriously poured or sipped on when guests return from their shower. So imagine getting out of your shower and coming out and someone has
that's a double
either
whammy right there.
poured your coffee and or they've already sipped your coffee and read your paper. I would be freaking out only because it's a very vulnerable position.
That's that whole like, when I want to be a ghost, I want to go into the girls' locker room type thing. It's like, old boys out there on the balcony seeing these naked people running around sipping their coffee. It's like, come on.
Just sitting there?
Yeah, just sitting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, my God. That is incredible. Then there was a second story that I found. 1910, William J. Hart, who was an assistant superintendent in charge of maintaining the island's wildlife, maintaining, he was patrolling the beach one early morning, and he came across two poachers stealing turtle eggs.
Okay.
So he confronted the men. Scuffle broke out. One of the poachers pulled a gun and shot him dead. right on
What the
right
fudgy
on
doodles?
right on the beach.
Dude, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That is not cool. Well, what year was this again?
1910.
1910.
Yeah. It's insane.
Wow.
So there's been sightings of this happening, probably residual in nature, or maybe him just patrolling the beach, So I really don't know.
Interesting. Well, I do have one more. And mind you, this is not a conclusive list that we are giving you.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many different
These
hauntings.
are just stories and stuff like that. Yeah.
So General Lloyd Aspinwall,
Okay.
he was a founding member of the Jekyll Island Club. He was also the first president of this country club.
And if you haven't seen it, I would go see it. This place is
Oh,
amazing.
gorgeous. Absolutely
like a huge
gorgeous.
old mansion.
Yeah, you feel like you're stepping back in time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like in a movie. So anyway, he died unexpectedly in September of 1886, a little more than a year before the club actually officially opened. So letters have actually been discovered written by members stating that they see him walking on the riverfront veranda around dusk. And it's always on the anniversary of his death.
Okay.
So if you're out there on September 4th, go to the riverfront veranda around dusk and see what you see.
That's pretty wild.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
That is pretty wild.
Yeah. I can't wait to go back. Not only is it beautiful, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. There's some really cool older ruins too that we went to. That was
the Horton House.
Yeah, the Horton House. That was really fucking. That was cool.
Yeah, that was. It was one of these houses. It was made of, I believe, coquina shells and
all
mud.
it is now is the external structure of the house.
Yeah, just the external structure.
So
it was 2-story.
Yeah, you can walk through it and check it out.
Oh, so really gorgeous. Neat. I actually have written a blog. I have yet to post it about the spirit woman that I encountered while we were there.
Yeah, definitely.
She had been a former slave housekeeper and was a little confused. She was a little confused.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But I was able to, look, I don't do this all the time. It's just if I get a good connection, I get a good connection. And
we were there
happen.
in what, June?
No. It's been almost 10 years exactly. We were there around St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
2014.
Okay, so March or April. Yeah. That's
March.
Because I'm thinking back in the day, or back then, it was beautiful. The garden was still, blooming. Everything it was really nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So then we move into the state.
Into Hotlanta.
Into Hotlanta.
Now,
so
Atlanta has seen its fair share of history.
Oh, without a doubt.
Atlanta was burned. You have Gone with the Wind. I will never go hungry again. As God is my witness. You're welcome.
So
we're
not really talking about the city per se.
Yes, and we're not talking about ghosts. We are talking about something very, very modern. This is a very legitimate place. It's called the Atlanta Vampire Alliance.
Yeah.
And according to a 2015 poll, 5,000 people in the U.S. identify as a vampire.
Okay.
But if I'm not mistaken, that does not include individuals who live the quote unquote vampire lifestyle while they may not engage in blood or energy vampirism. They live the lifestyle by wearing the clothes, only being awake at night.
And then you might be that. How would you say it? It was, not directly active vampirism. You may, Like, I've had people in the past that I've met that were energy vampires that didn't even know it.
Exactly. You know, if you're
Indirectly,
sitting,
that's
right,
what I was saying.
If you're sitting with someone and you know, you just start feeling drained by them, that is an energy or psychic vampire that may or may not be doing it purposely.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Michelle Ballinger, she is a psychic, and she does identify as a vampire. And her feeding method, so to speak, is more energy psychic, as opposed to blood. And
well, it's similar to a lot of these beliefs. You know, a lot of these group environments. You know, you have just similar to pagan beliefs and religions. You know, it's like you have
exactly,
like we follow animism, which is everything is comprised of energy, everything is comprised of life. So it's similar to that in the aspect of there is a belief structure behind it, and there is that group of people that come in under the same thought process.
Exactly. And I mean, there's a excuse me, a belief out there. The real currency of the universe is energy.
Yeah.
And I can completely understand that. And what the Atlanta Vampire Alliance offers is support. They have a lot of resources. They can connect you with other vampire alliances and safe houses and things like that throughout the country. So there is a network. And the thing is, they have donors.
And there are 3 different types of vampirism.
Yes.
There is the
sanguinarian.
Sanguinarian. That's it. I didn't want to butcher it. Sanguinarian, which is the sang vampires that feed off of human or animal blood.
Correct.
Then there is the psychic or the psi vampires, which are that feed psychically off of a life force energy. And then there's a hybrid.
Correct.
So
correct. And this is the thing. Historically, every culture throughout the world has some sort of folklore embedded with a vampiric being. Whether it is a being that drinks blood, steals life force, steals breath, drains you. So within folkloric history and culture around the world, there is a vampire-like being. So there's some basis in it.
I dated one that had the capabilities of a vampire.
I think we've all been there.
No. She said that she could draw blood without even leaving a mark.
I don't want to hear about your exes.
She was able to. It felt really freaking weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But that's the thing. She drew on your life force.
Yep.
Now, what the Atlanta Vampire Alliance can do is they can match you with a donor.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's the thing. I know people are going, wait, what? So first and foremost, people that want to be donors, they do sign waivers. If it is blood, they are regularly tested for any diseases or anything like that. Also, this is done in a sterile environment with gloves, with alcohol wipes, with lancets that are very, very sterile. And the thing is, you're not like biting their neck and drinking pints and pints of blood. Realistically, you might get a tablespoon if you're lucky.
Yeah.
But it's very much a trusting relationship. And it's the same thing with, there are donors that are willing to allow someone to feed on their psychic energy. And it's a very trusting process. Everyone signs paperwork, so this is done in a very, very safe manner.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, if you're out there and you were curious, contact the Atlanta Vampire Alliance. When I was writing my book, Trails of Blood, that's where I learned about them, and I thought, wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a great outlet for people that that identify as that identify in that belief structure, and it's an open-minded aspect.
Right. And it's a place where you can feel safe being exactly who you are.
Exactly.
And know that you can get your needs met in an appropriate venue.
Yep. It's all about understanding. It's like, I'm not going to go out and preach to the choir or anything like that, but, it's something that if I have a belief, then in my mind, that belief, it's mine. So
right.
If you don't like it, then, don't worry about it. Just go on with your daily life.
Yeah. And I mean, I know there are people that embrace, again, as I said, the vampire lifestyle without the feeding, so to speak. But I can see where they might live on the fringes and might not want to come out or say something. And it's I think we've all been there. We've all had those moments where being just who we are, we've been misunderstood or made fun of.
Even ghost hunting. Ghost hunting or paranormal investigating. Even back in the late 90s, I had to talk to somebody to gauge them before I told them what I did. Because if I didn't, they would give me some weird looks. Yeah, they would think I was the devil incarnate.
Right,
it's like you're dealing with the devil's work. It's like, relax.
Right.
Relax. I'm doing a pseudoscientific experimentation and trying to communicate with these beings that I believe are spiritual in nature. It's like...
And that's the thing. There's not enough scientific research on these things.
There isn't.
And as a matter of fact, this alliance, they actually do scientific research there.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. They're gauging to what levels people feed energy, how that affects them. They're doing this in various ways. And I think that's really super cool. And within these realms, whether it's vampirism, whether it's cryptozoology, paranormal research, I do believe that it's time to come together and do some real scientific research on this.
Yeah.
Because
white papers and all.
Yeah, there's so many things that people don't understand. You were talking about even paranormal.
Yeah.
I believe it was the late 1800s, early 1900s. There was a doctor who did a study on hospice patients. And he had them on a bed that was a scale. And he measured that at the exact moment of death, each body would lose
a certain
amount of ounces.
Yep.
So, and it was a question of what's the weight of a soul. So there is scientific backing. There is data. It just needs to be replicated. It needs to be studied, and it needs to be understood.
Fantastic.
Same thing with vampires.
So
on that note, creepy Atlantis.
Yeah.
Well, not creepy Atlanta, creepy Georgia.
Yeah, I know, Georgia. As I said before, that place is nuts. Every time I drove through that place, it was like...
Oh, hush.
It just didn't cooperate with me. It was like a bad taco or something like that.
Don't eat tacos in Georgia.
It was like a forest fire here, or a warehouse fire here, or a thunderstorm or rainstorm here. It's like, can I get a break? I try to go into the state and it just deluges, or it just blows up.
Darling.
Yes.
You're from Jersey.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Maybe Atlanta took a little bit of offense to that.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Atlanta. I am so sorry.
I did fly into Atlanta several times, and it was a nice city. So, with that note, we will be traveling to your backwoods there,
yes, Florida,
next week.
Y'all, I'm a Florida girl, born and raised. No, not that Florida. I'm from the swamps of Florida, not Disney, not Miami. Yeah, I came from a town where everybody was related. Everybody.
So, as always, please rate, re-rate. So, as always, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe to or follow this podcast on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. And I just wanted to say the level of support and the fantastic people that are viewing us on YouTube. we appreciate it so much. It is so cool to be, to be able to be viewed. And you just got some hearts. So yeah, buddy. All right. Well, with that said,
I'm Brandy.
And I'm John. Have a great day, everyone.